Hey guys, Sleepy here, and welcome to a new episode of my weekly gaming playlist series. Made it to Friday, so we're going to do a little recap and talk about the games I played this week. Would love to hear your thoughts, so if you have played any of the games I shared today, let me know what you thought of them. Always enjoy hearing about the games you guys are playing, because that gives me ideas of games that I might want to play myself. And if you guys have recommendations on titles you think I might enjoy playing, let me know. You guys have suggested some great games so far. I have a pretty good list from you guys of games to play that I own. And there's also a few I don't own that are on a list to eventually buy. So please keep them coming. Really appreciate it. So this week, I'm continuing with the same game that I started playing last week. Been having a lot of fun with it, and it's been awesome time with it. And that is The Surge for Xbox One. I've been playing on my Series X. Looks amazing on my 4K TV with the Series X. It'll boost performance and graphics. Really awesome title. It's also on PS4 and the PC. This is a really cool third-person Souls-like RPG. So it plays kind of like Dark Souls, except it has a modern setting with robots, technology, weapons. It's just really cool and a really awesome game. I'll read you guys from the back. Welcome to Creo, the mega corporation saving the world. A catastrophic event has knocked you out during the first day on the job. You wake up with a heavy-grade exoskeleton in a destroyed section of the complex. Robots gone haywire, insane workers, rogue AI, and everything wants you dead. Has a unique limb targeting system, cut off parts of the enemy you want to loot, lethal enemies, and bosses. So the basic story is that the world has kind of gone to shit. Humans have kind of ruined the earth. There's been different companies and people trying to fix the earth, and one of the biggest is this mega corporation, Creo. They are trying to they're sending up rockets into the air. They're trying to use technology to repair the earth, fix the ecosystem, get rid of pollution, fix the ozone layer, get plant life back, animals back, all that kind of stuff. And so your character is named Warren, and he decides to go work for Creo. Now, when he first played the game, Warren's actually wheelchair bound, and so he goes to Creo, and they attach a exoskeleton to his body that allows him to walk, but it also gives you superhuman strength. And so a lot of the workers for Creo have this attached to their body, so they're augmented to do different kind of tasks for Creo. And during the process, something catastrophic happens, you black out, and then you wake up outside of an abandoned part of the complex for Creo, and everything there's trying to kill you. Robots. You find out that your fellow co-workers have died and turned into like zombie creatures, but they still have their exoskeletons on them, and so they're attacking you, and you have to fight them off. And now what's cool about this game is how you unlock content, because you start off with just the exoskeleton. You have no armor pieces on you. You just get a basic little weapon. Well, as you started playing through the game and fighting the enemies, you find out that you can use this targeting system where you can target the limbs. And if you see an enemy with a new arm, you have to do enough damage to them where you build up a meter where you can do a combo finishing move, and you cut off like their arm and you'll get that weapon, or you cut off the leg and you'll get the leg armor. You cut off their head, you get the headpiece. You rip their body in half, you get the body part. And when you cut off the arm, besides getting the weapon, you also get the arm schematic. Then you can go back to your med bay, and that's where you're able to craft stuff, because the med bay is a lot like the bonfires for the Souls kind of games, and that's like your main hub where you go to, where you get upgrades and repair yourself, heal, and then that's where the resets all the enemies out there. So let's check out some of The Surge. Alright guys, we're checking out more of The Surge. Now this is a really cool third-person Souls-like RPG. So it plays a lot like Dark Souls, except it has a modern setting, and your character has an exoskeleton that was surgically attached to his body, which gave him the ability to walk, but also gave him superhuman strength. Now, you're going to run into other people in this game that also have exosuits as well, and then you also run into some normal people. There's also robots and stuff to fight, so there's a variety of enemies. There's also a variety of NPCs and stuff, and I've been having a lot of fun playing this game the last 2 weeks. We'll get started here. And I've been playing for a little over 32 hours the past 2 weeks, and I've got quite far in the game. And the game is broke up into different little areas based on the map. So I'll show you guys now. It's similar to like the Souls games where they have the bonfires and places to rest and heal. This game does med bays, so every time you come here, the enemies in the area will respawn, and you also can heal yourself here at the med bay. But the med bay also does more than that. This is where you level up. So you start out with just like a level 1 core, but as you earn tech scrap from killing enemies and finding it in the world, you can then upgrade. I'm currently at level 75. Another thing that's cool about this game is you start out with implant slots. You only start out with 8, but so far I've got up to 16, and you unlock additional slots as you level up. And I have to get my core to 105 to get the last 3 slots. So 85, 95, 105 to get more implant slots. Now what's cool is these various implants that you unlock by finding them in the world augment your character. Sometimes they give like their health recovery ones, which are very useful, which I have equipped, and they all cost a different power core consumption, so you can only equip so many till your number is used up, including your armor that you have as well. All kinds of different things to augment you. Then you have your rig. You start out with a Mark 1. I'm currently up to a Mark 3 that I have upgraded by playing through the game and made myself stronger. You also have the ability to craft gear and upgrade it. Now what's unique about this game is the game doesn't just hand you weapons. You get one in the beginning. You actually have to get them by killing enemies. So if you see an enemy with a new weapon, you actually have to cut it off their body. So this game had a unique limb targeting mechanism, which is really cool. It's the same thing for the armor pieces. So if you see somebody walking around with an armor set, you have to keep fighting them, cut off the various pieces of them, so then you can come back here and craft it with the crafting materials and the tech scrap. Now let's say you've already killed an enemy with the headpiece you want. You want to go back and continue to kill him, because then you unlock the crafting resources that you need. Like I said, I need a force regulator Mark 1 to upgrade stuff. So that's where you want to keep dismembering enemies so you can keep unlocking the crafting supplies. And then these are the various schematics I've unlocked. And then here's where you can upgrade them, which I've been upgrading my stuff. And again, it makes them stronger. And you have different things. Now here's what my character looks like. This is actually one of the DLC ones. It's an angel set. And what's cool is the game doesn't just hand you these items. You actually have to find them out in the world. And so they created enemies that look like this character, that look like a spacesuit. I actually had to kill them, cut off the head, I had to cut off the body, I had to cut off the leg, and I had to cut off the arm to get the full pieces of the set. Then I was able to craft it and build it, and then I started working on unlocking it. But there's a variety of armor pieces to get. There's way more than just this. I just haven't been crafting them. There's a secret one here, the Iron Mouse, which is pretty cool. A bunch of arm pieces. Now, the game is chocked full of weapons. I've got 24 weapons so far. I know there's more than that. There's secret ones you can actually unlock by beating bosses, and sometimes you have to beat a boss a certain way to unlock a certain weapon. You may only get the version 1, but if you beat him a different way, you might get version 2, which is really cool. I also like that you can actually favorite weapons if you want to, and then you can make them basically hotkey, where you can swap between them on the fly while you're out and about. So this talks about your specs, gives you your overall stuff. The game does have weapon proficiency, so as you use a weapon, you get more proficiency, which means you get more power using it, become stronger, and it keeps track of that. And the one I've been using the most is at level 20 right now. Here's where your organizers. This keeps track of all the collectibles you find. There's a bunch of different audio logs to find, as well as quest pieces, which are kept here. So this keeps track of everything. Your inventory, when you cut off pieces, they'll be here. Consumables, so when you kill enemies, sometimes they drop stuff, like this drops some tech scrap for me. The schematics you've unlocked here. If it has a check mark, it means I've already built it. If it's like an arm piece, you have to have 2 to get a check mark. And then these are the components I was talking about you unlock by continuing to cut off the various body parts, and you use these to level up. So you start with level 1 enemies, but you have to start killing higher level enemies like level 4 to make your armor pieces get leveled up even more, your weapons and stuff. So I'll show you guys some of the combat. Here's a quick little, show you guys some of the voice actors.
Don't forget your help out there. You saved my ass. Take care, Hobbs. You bet I will. Don't do nothing I wouldn't.
Everybody is voiced. Everyone has a good voice actors.
Look out for your fellow workers. They look out for you.
Game looks beautiful here on my 4K TV playing on my Series X, and it's got great ambient music and stuff that it plays, and it changes depending on the area you're at and if you're in combat or not, which is cool. Oh, bastard. Now here's where you can individually target different things. So I'm going to target his weak point if it's blue. These are security guys, so they're really strong enemies since I've gotten so far in the game. So the beginning ones aren't this difficult, but as I said, as you play the game, it gets more difficult, just like any of the Souls games. Got it. And every time you kill different enemies, you unlock different amounts of scrap. And what's nice is the longer you play the game, the further along you get more difficult enemies, but they start giving more and more scrap because it starts taking a lot more to level your character up. Now, you guys can see there's a timer going down because I recently died. So I actually have to get back to where I died like a Souls game does, you know, to retrieve what you lost. But what's different about this one versus like the Dark Souls is Dark Souls doesn't have a timer. This actually has a timer. If I don't get down there in time, I'm going to lose that 10,000 scrap. And if I was to die a second time, then that first scrap that I lost, it will be lost forever. So just be aware. And you have to do enough damage to an enemy that it builds up your meter to where you're actually able to do a finishing move to them, and that's how you're able to dismember parts of their bodies. And sometimes, you know, you may have a weapon that's too powerful, so you may have to switch to a weapon that does less damage so you can specifically cut off their limbs. So see, I just cut off his arm, and if I didn't already have that schematic, I would unlock it, plus unlocked leg pieces now, so I have some more abilities to craft and upgrade leg armor now because I just cut off his leg. Unfortunately, now these flame enemies, there is no way to actually get their flame weapon, which kind of sucks. It'd be really cool to have a giant flamethrower, but they don't allow you to get that weapon for some reason. I don't know why. That's the only weapon so far I've found that enemies have that I can't use. There we go, retrieve my scrap. And you better make sure that you do that. And be careful not to let yourself get swarmed by enemies, because they can kill you fast. So like sometimes you have two of them, I try to lead them out. Now another thing too I didn't mention is, once you get to the second area, you actually unlock a drone. And they have different abilities. You start off with this one that does laser attacks, but you get one that can do fire attacks. There's one that can slow enemies down. There's one that does a melee attack. There's another one that can create a protective shield around you. And then my favorite I've been using is this pole enemy. And you unlock energy as you do different attacks, and then you can summon that to help you, which has become very helpful. Maybe another flame asshole. Ooh, he hurt himself. Killed both of those. Now, something that's really cool, and it's in your implant slots. These are free. You have a proximity sensor, which I highly recommend keeping equipped at all times. Doesn't cost anything, but it makes a beeping noise when you get close to collectibles, and it's a great way for you not to miss anything. So always keep that equipped, as well as they give you this medical audit, which lets you know what enemy's health is at. Definitely important to have that. Anytime you get anything new, you'll see a yellow mark up here, so see the broken parts. So there's the leg piece that I unlocked, which is Mark 3. So when I go back to the med bay, I can drop it off and have more crafting resources. You can sneak up on enemies and do kind of like a backstab attack, similar in those Dark Souls games. But you have to make it so they're hit them when they're unaware from behind. Oh, I missed. I cut off his arm, so I got some tungsten alloy Mark II. Flame guys are the most annoying, and some of the most annoying enemies in the game. You gotta try to... You want to try to get around to their side as they're attacking, because that's where they're vulnerable at. And then he dropped a pile of scrap. So sometimes enemies will drop a pile of scrap, so make sure you collect those. See if we can sneak it. Oh, damn, he had the turn. And then you'll find little power conduits around here. In different areas they'll be red if you don't have enough power core, or green. And they'll have different numbers. Sometimes it'll be like 15, sometimes it might be 30. And by powering it up, you use it, and then it can unlock doors and get you into different areas, power different stuff. And then there's also a security armor set that you will unlock later, because there are secret areas to get into that require a security rig, which I have. And so you do got to backtrack at times and go back and get things you couldn't get when you were in that first area because you didn't have the right tools for it. So let's see if we can sneak up on him. Damn, didn't get it. See, I like that polling guy because he will stun enemies for you sometimes, and it also works on some bosses as well. Oh, Jesus. And if you hit just right with an enemy and you block, you can actually do a counter move there. So if you like block right as they hit you, you have to get your timing down. There's also, you're able to like do a jump dodge as well. The game will teach you this as you play. There's different little tutorials and stuff. So we'll just end it here with a quick fight. Last guy to show you guys. And so that guy was doing gas attack. Now what's cool is I actually found an implant that actually makes me immune to gas. So there's different things you can get to augment yourself. So if you guys like the Souls kind of games, this is definitely difficult. Like, it's not easy. Like, if you've used to playing like Elden Ring, that's a much easier game than like the Dark Souls and Demon Souls were. This is definitely up there with, can be difficult. Bosses can be very tough at times until you actually learn their patterns and how to beat them and not rushing in and taking your time and paying attention to your stamina, your health and stuff, and changing your implants based on your needs. You know, maybe you need a bunch of healing items at this time. Maybe you want to have more that gives you more health. Maybe you want one to give you bigger stamina bar. You can tweak that all to your own liking, which is cool. You can also try out different variety of armor sets to wear with different abilities that you may want to change. It's just up to you, which is really cool. So definitely you guys should check this game out. It's awesome. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that look at the Surge. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've got like 37 hours in now. I'm actually really close to beating the game. I have the final section to complete. There is DLC for it, which is cool. So there's 3 cosmetic DLCs. 2 of them are free. They add new suits to wear. They add new weapons. They add new enemies to the game. Then there was one that was paid. It was like $1. And then there are 2 bigger expansion packs that were $5 each. Well, this week they actually went on sale, because anytime I find a DLC piece or a game or some digital content that I like, I add it to my wish list, and then Xbox lets me know when it goes on sale. And they just messaged me this week, hey, they're like 30-some% off. So it was like $3.50 each to get them. So for $7 I have both DLCs. So now I don't want to beat the game, because then I'd have to start over from the beginning, because it does have New Game Plus, but then it makes the enemies obviously more difficult as every time you go through New Game Plus. So I decided that I'm going to stop working on the main game now and then go back and do the DLCs, because the 2 DLCs take place at little different parts of the story. As you progress further along in the different areas, that's when you can get to where the DLC is. And so I decided I'm going to go through and play the DLCs before I beat the main game. But I'm probably going to put the game down soon and go back to it later on in the year, because I do want to play some other games. But I have been having a lot of fun with this game. It's been an awesome Souls-like game. It's super difficult, though. I do have to warn you, you will die a lot. I've died a ton of times. I probably died like 100 times by now. It just happens. Some enemies hit really hard. Sometimes you hit the wrong button and just, you know, they counter you. You don't get your counter. It can just happen. There can be some cheap deaths. You can accidentally fall to your death too by not paying attention to like the area you're in, where there's a catwalk and you might be too close to the edge and you might swing at an enemy and miss and fall off. So, you know, there are some frustrating things that happen, but overall it's a really enjoyable experience, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's an amazing game. But let me know, have you guys played The Surge? What were your thoughts on it? Love to hear about the games you guys have been playing, and if you have a recommendation on a game you think I might enjoy playing, let me know. I'm always looking for new games to play and experience. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see you next time.